Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Eelco. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, tier list, ranking, video game, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And Eelco wanted me to look at Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Dickheads, I don't know, Curiosities. Episode 1 called Lot 36. Listen, I never heard of this TV show before. Well, it was on Netflix. I don't have Netflix, but I have ways to watch it if I want to. Wink, wink. I guess this came out 2022, and it says like a show, but it was only lasted one season, 8 episodes. So I guess there was no season 2, whatever. I don't think. If that's the case, if this is how the show is, I can see why. Now maybe the rest of the show was good. But this, for your first episode, that you want a banger, you want to kick the tires and light the fires and really get things revving and going, this ain't it. This was so fucking political, as subtle as a jackhammer up your fucking ass. Racism. About racism. About racism, guys. Racism. Starring Tim Blake Nelson, who I do think is a good actor. Elpidia Trillo, which is cool because it's Anna from Predator, the first Predator. So that's cool. I don't recognize the other people. So, the plot of the film, or episode, was dragged. This dragged. It was slow. It was boring. It tried to do a slow burn, but it wasn't that interesting of a slow burn. It was just really political, in your face about racism. Now, hey, that can work in an anthology story. Tales from the Hood with Corbin Burnson. If you remember that was good. And I know there's a poster here, but if you see a little tip of Danny Glover's head, no, it's not one of the dolls from Tales from the Hood. It's Danny Glover from Predator 2. But it starts off with, first off, this old man chopping meat and he has a heart attack. We find out later what that's about. Tim Blake Nelson, we find out, is this war vet who has bad hearing in one ear. He owes money. He'll buy lots. So this becomes like the most boring episode of Storage Wars ever. And he's listening to the radio, and on the radio is some guy going, "Them illegal immigration, I mean, well, what about white rights? Yeah, we can't talk about that. Now, please get your phone calls, but please, no self-righteous liberal assholes, please." I'm like, oh my fucking god. Because again, this was what, 2022, I think, give or take. I'm like, oh my fucking god. This is, again, as political as anything. This is so fucking subtle. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Yes, I know there are racists around. But if you don't do it nowadays, you do it a bit more clever, a bit more interesting. Here, again, there's no subtlety. It seems... Also, what's wrong with talking about white rights? I think how about all rights? Not alt-right, I said all rights. But I don't know why that's a bad thing. I guess if you care about that, you're racist, I guess. I don't know. Now, Tim Blake Nelson plays a bit of a dick, and there's really nothing else to his character. Like, it's written in such a one-dimensional fashion on almost everybody. So I don't think it's that well written when it wants to make this big message. Everyone's like very one dimensional. So he goes off and he gets these lots. He goes to meet this guy. Which is funny because they want to label Tim Blake Nelson as such a racist, but the guy he's talking to is black. He doesn't really say or do anything to him that would be considered racist. So I guess he's only supposedly racist against Latinos, Mexicans, I guess. That's the point they're making. So anyway, he buys the lots. He's like, just give me the stuff because he owes his money. And he goes off to do his business. Well, Illipedia Carrillo comes in and goes, Mister. I do that because that's how she talks in the episode. I pay rent. 2 months. And the guy's like, well, we sent you in, the guy who owned the stuff, who sold it, we sent you an eviction. Your phone was disconnected. No, see, I call you, and I tell you, don't forget. And he's like, that was you? So this guy fucked up, not Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson, not going to call him a nice person. I'm not. But with what Illipedia Carrillo does later on, part of that bit blame does go to this guy for forgetting about doing his fucking job. But anyway, he forgot, sold to Tim. He goes, that's the guy who bought your stuff, your lot. Go ask him if you go in and get some stuff. Why doesn't the guy go with the girl since it's his fucking fault? I don't know. Like, this guy could go with the girl and they both could go to Tim and go, listen, dude, I know I sold it to you, but this girl, I'm going to let her get some pictures. It's my fault. Okay, you want to be pissed off? Be pissed off with me. And I think Tim would be pissed, but he wouldn't be, I don't know. Because the guy is pretty much bigger and a little stronger than Tim Blake Nelson. So the fact that this guy didn't do anything, to me, it's just as much his fucking fault. He doesn't try to fix the problem. He just pushes it off to Tim Blake Nelson. And he's the one who forgot. He's the one who sold it. So again, why doesn't he go with this girl to talk to this fucking Tim Blake Nelson guy when he knows this guy's a bit of a dick as well? Because he knows him more than this girl does. But he doesn't. And obviously after, Tim Blake Nelson pretty much goes, no, it's my stuff. I bought it. I mean, I already threw some stuff away. I don't know if there's anything left. Then he says, well, here's the lock. You can have this. Then she says something, and like she reads or says something, and then he says, like, listen, if you want to insult me, then at least learn to speak the language of this country. Like, he says something like that. That's the closest he got racist to her, which is it right that he said that? No. It's not. Not to excuse it, it's not. But does that one exchange make it so he deserves death? I don't think so. I'll get to that. Because trust me, there's not much else to talk about with this episode. It's this heavy-handed messaging, the slow build-up. He looks through this one lot where this old man would do this dance, and I still don't know why he did this dance in front of the fucking thing. I still don't know why. They never explain that, but they see like video footage. He goes in and he finds some stuff, and he tries to appraise it. While he's appraising it and talking with this lady hits some buttons, and there's this hidden compartment that opens, and there's the 3 books. She looks at the 3 books. They're very important. They deal with the occult and demon and stuff. So she gets someone. He comes down. He explains a little bit what it's about. Also, there's a 4th book that's very rare. I'm like, okay, so what is this? The Ninth Gate? Is that where we're coming? Which I don't even like that movie either. So this guy, Roland, decides to go back with Tim Blake Nelson, right back to the lot, and he goes, if we find that fourth book, I'll write you a check for $300,000. Tim Blake does it. Roland explains a bit of the history of who owned the lot, that specific one, that they made weapons in World War II, but it was for the Nazis. They go in, they find this passage. The guy, Roland, has his candle bra. Has this thing with a bunch of candles in it. And they open this passage, and there's this terrible smell. They go in, they see like a devil worship sign, pentagram type of thing on the ground, occult stuff on the ground, and a dead body. And if you just look, there's tentacles coming out of the face of the dead body. Like the face is no more, it's just tentacles, CG tentacles. Tim Blake Nelson can clearly see this. Now the fourth book is over there. The guy, Roland, says, we cannot cross this seal, or it's bad news. So Tim Blake Nelson hears this, sees the dead body with fucking tentacles coming out of his face, and says, I'm tired of this shit, and walks over the seal. And people go, well, yeah, it's about the character, and he just doesn't care what anybody thinks. He is pig-headed. Okay, he's a very, very, very stupid, dumb character. I don't know what else to say. He's just a very stupid, dumb, fucking character. Especially when you look at it, he could clearly walk around the edge to get the book and walk back. This is literally almost two people could fit on the fucking edge to walk around and not touch the seal at all. So it's just one of those things you go, what the fuck, dude? Okay, the idea of the heavy-handed message. This guy, he's this blind, racist guy who's also very, very stupid and hateful and stuff. So he walks over the seal, walks back with the book. The guy, Roland, goes, you don't know what you've done, what you've unleashed. The creature goes up, and it's a lot of CG tentacles, and underneath you kind of see like CG mouth that could chomp on you. It chomps up the Roland guy. Tim Blake Nelson runs. The door is locked, and there's Elpidia Carrillo, who was standing and staring the whole day at the lot. Which again, why didn't she go to the manager, and why didn't the manager go, you know what, it is my fault. Wait, the guy was away from the appraisal. Okay? He drove away. Elpidia could say, listen, mister, it's your fault. Can I at least go in? And this guy, would this guy really give a shit about the rules? He knows how much of a dick Tim Blake Nelson is. It's his fucking fault in the first place. It was his responsibility. He could go, okay, lady, let's go over here. You can't tell me he doesn't have any spare keys or a skeleton key or has a way of getting into these lots himself. Just in case. He could go in, lady, find what you want, and then leave. She could do that. But no. Because people are fucking stupid in this world, apparently. Why is it I'm thinking about this, but nobody in the fucking show could have? Or the episode. And then, at this point, like, we know this guy's a dick because of what he did over the seal, and that was really fucking stupid and pig-headed, and it got this Roland guy killed, and, sometimes, how pissy he would get with the manager. But in Elpidia Carrillo's point of view, just from her point of view, all that she's seen, all she has seen and witnessed from this guy is, please let me into the lot. No, you're evicted. I pay for it. Here's your lock. And that one line about, like, speak my language. No, I'm not going to let you in because I own this. That's all he did. Was it a dick move? Yes. But she looks at him. He's begging, please let me out, let me out. I'll give you anything you want. And she puts the lock on the door and leaves. And then Timblade Nelson runs and he gets eaten by the CGI monster. Which the CGI wasn't that great. Like, Guillermo del Toro, you're producing this. How about, like, no, let's do some practical effects and stuff. He didn't direct this, but he just comes out to host it like he's Rod Serling from The Simpsons or whatever, to introduce these stories and put his name on it. That's pretty much what Guillermo del Toro is there for. For other, like, Spanish and other directors to direct a segment. But I'm like, okay, Timblade Nelson, for what Elpidia Carrillo went through, did that deserve her murdering this guy? Like, what she went through. That would be like if I got a motel room. Let's say I got a motel room for 3 days. The first day, I go somewhere, I come back, it's locked. I talk to the motel guys, and they're, oh, we sorry, we screwed up. We didn't realize you had 3 days. That's right. Well, we double booked, and this guy has the other days now. So it's like after day 1 is day 2. I leave. This guy goes in. I knock on the door. The guy goes, "What do you want?" I just have some 70 pickup. Well, it's my room now. And he goes, like, he hands me, like, the do not disturb sign, and then I don't know, says something about, maybe say he's a Mexican guy and he talks about me being a gringo or something like that. And that's it. That's my only interaction. Would I be pissed? Yes. Was it fuck you, asshole? You know, yes. But then if I'm in a car and he's pounding on the door, screaming bloody murder, baby, please, this guy don't kill me, please, please. How would that make me look if I just drive away and let this person die? Wouldn't I look like the asshole? Wouldn't I look like kind of a piece of shit? Yeah, the guy was a bit of a dick on that one, but am I going to willingly let him die because of that? Like, okay, for example, there are trolls I have on YouTube, right? In all honesty, and I mean this seriously. If they see it, they don't have to believe it. But if I see them, but then there's like a monster or a killer ready to kill them, I'm going to open the door and let them through. I may not like them. I may think they're a dick and may never be friends. But I'm not just going to let the person die and partly commit, I don't know, murder, however you want to put it. Like, there's a big fucking difference, but apparently this show, it's fine. It's fine. I guess we forgot the notion of maybe someone could be better. Someone could change. See, at least the Tales from the Hood one, they made it where Corbin Burnson, he was a former KKK member, and then he did all these other things, and he bought the plantation, and he's doing all this stuff, and he's become a senator, and it's like this ongoing, like, bitter thing. You know, at least there was a bit more to that, as well as other stories that have dealt with that. And most part, it was just very boring. Like I said, it was such a slow build to not much of a payoff, except to be a crappy looking CG creature that's just tentacles, and you see a bit of teeth, and when it eats people up, it's, you know, bad CGI. So that was worth the build up? Really? Timblade Nelson, I didn't mind his performance. I think for what the material he was given, he did what he could. Same with Elpidia Carrillo. Again, I liked her ever since I saw her in Predator. I think she did what she could. The guy who owned the lot, his acting was not bad at all. Again, I don't know why the character didn't try to help or do anything, since some of this is partly his fucking fault. Because he forgot, he screwed up, and he sold what he wasn't supposed to do. Again, I already mentioned that, so I'd just be repeating myself. This was boring. It was heavy-handed in its message, and to me, boneheaded in how it wrote the message. And it made Peter Carrillo's character look bad, in my opinion. Because you helped commit murder. And again, the guy wasn't the best guy, but with what she experienced, I don't think she should have viewed him as a guy to die. A guy to maybe kick in the nuts, okay. I always say let him out. Now take me to what I want. And then you kick him in the nuts and leave with your stuff. Say, allow me to kick you in the nuts. There you go. That could be, have that be the payback. A kick in the nuts. And of course, it goes to the whole thing, I guess we can't be better, the better person, the better human, in terms of Carrillo, I'm going to be the better person. Yeah, you said those mean things to me. So I'm going to be the better person, and I'm going to help you out, even though you didn't help me out. Wouldn't that make her the better person? Wouldn't that be a positive message for... I believe she's... is she Mexican? I believe. Wouldn't it be a positive message for that? To show how much better and more lenient and more forgiving and more of the better person? No. Apparently not. So you can't have that either. So that's not even a fucking good role model for Mexicans. Americans, they go to nice school and they get a B. Well, this gets a D for dog shit. And if the rest of the cabinet of cum shots are the same as this quality, no wonder there wasn't a season fucking 2. Keep the cabinet and stick with it. I don't want it. Keep your fucking cabinet to yourselves. The message. Do you know the message? Yeah, fuck in you. That's my message. So, fuck off. There's my message. So this was just heavy-handed shit. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again to Eelco for the request. What a horrible start. Again, if that's how you start the show, no wonder I never heard anybody talk about this. For good reason. Later.